week for the Wall Street Journal that says we're the place to be. And every time the growth becomes so apparent, everybody complains about it. But you don't hear anything about it
In those down.
in 2009, 2000.
See, that's what people don't talk about
Right.
1998, they don't talk
Right.
about 2004.
It's-
So.
So that's why I think we're seeing that,
It goes like
people don't
that.
wanna see the prairie just covered with houses. Well, when it happens slowly and you don't see a new subdivision build out in 6 months, you don't really complain about it. And I think, like what he said, the planners, we did a really good job on that comp plan, putting in the mixed use and trying to address that missing middle. You know, sometimes I have concerns that maybe we didn't have a vision for the residential component, maybe do we want larger lots, smaller lots? But that's my own personal opinion. I think that overall the plan is good and our lots are still bigger than everybody else's. So,
Right,
you know,
and we don't have a maximum lot size in R one, so we are seeing, quite a few developments coming in with well over the minimum lot size for their lots.
And the areas
Melissa
that's
brings a
hilly.
really good point up here, when we were looking at our lot sizes and we had all our workshops, I was amazed at
How
the
big
number of urban areas that have maximum lot sizes in their zone districts, because they want those, to get that infrastructure put in
density
and get
to-
that density so that it pays for it.
Right.
So, we don't have that, and we purposely didn't put that in, so
Right.
that we could have larger lots, like, Councilmember Brooks.
Right, and we took out the ability to have duplexes in R one, cause we heard that from the people, so we
See,
took
there's
that
been a
out.
lot of public comment, and that's what I mean, I'm happy, and in fact, as Ed and I talked to others, to be able to provide the community with an opportunity to provide feedback, but the nice part is, in doing my research, we've had hundreds and thousands of individuals provide input already, so we're
Right.
moving in a direction. This is not a mutually exclusive thing, we just need to make sure that we answer questions if there's questions, and provide fact when
Right.
fact is necessary, so.
Alan had a comment?
Alan?
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Melissa, I might have missed it, and if I'm the only person in the room, I apologize. This has been a great information sharing, and obviously as the mayor said, the separate item of having an education and a little more feedback, despite the fact that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years.
Right.
How can we help you guys as a city? In other words, I gotta assume that we, sacrifice 2 hours here each tonight so we could make some decisions, go forward. What can we give you so that you don't feel like, or you feel that this was a productive use of time aside from the education component, and we can actually move forward and do some actions? What can we get out of this tonight?
So I think it's really, really hard as a staff to do our jobs if we don't have some certainty that we're gonna follow this plan. If we're constantly afraid to implement,
That's a city work.
we're kind of crippled as a staff. So I guess I would like to get some feedback on, I've heard from several, not all of you, that the plan's good, the vision's good. I need to know that. I mean, because otherwise, as people are coming in and wanting to do this or that on their property, I could guide them 10 steps down the road and then find out that we don't wanna amend an agreement that would allow the comp plan to become reality, And so it's a really hard environment to work in, I guess, right where we're at right now.
Have you felt-
Don is nodding.
Have you felt like, from a counselor from planning and zoning, that we weren't pleased with the direction?
I haven't, like when it was approved, it was unanimous by both, it was applauded, we felt really, really good. But then as we took steps to implement, people were putting the brakes on. And I think that it was just good to get together again and make sure, because I think that was Roger's suggestion after the last council meeting, I think that's a really good thing. But I don't wanna, every single time we have somebody coming in and wanting to move in that direction, that we have to pause and, take a step back again. I wanna make sure that we're moving forward.
So I asked the question again, I have no problem, in fact, I welcome feedback from a community standpoint. Hayden's just Hayden, we're not Post Falls, we're not Coeur d'Alene. If you wanna get really discouraged, just go to Ramsey, drive around Ramsey and prairie. And, but in terms of allowing the community to provide additional feedback, I think is great. We've had thousands of people that have provided input already.
Right.
So I think directionally, I mean, Councilmember Roeder, was hoping that, I don't know, I don't put words in the mouth to put on the brakes. I don't know that we need to put on the brakes, other than we need to be able to adapt when necessary and look at exceptions if there are, and get feedback with respect to the direction of the community. And we're gonna have people disagree. That's just part of the deal.
Sure.
And that's okay too, but so I have no problem with having a meeting. I think in Roger or others, I'll sit there and we'll answer questions, so.
We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this comp plan. Everybody sitting around this table, how many hours did you guys all put in? You all agreed on it. We had hundreds of citizens over the last 2 years. How many times are we gonna go through this exercise? And I think you're exactly right. A lot of people didn't come to the meetings because their ox wasn't being guarded. They didn't have that apartment house being built across the street, so that doesn't affect me. I think that's why we didn't get feedback. And to be honest, I have gotten probably 100 emails on this comp plan, the subject, and I would say maybe 30% for residents from Hayden. The rest don't even live here. So,
And I don't want
I'm
the
one of
same
the
email either. I
well,
want copies of the same meeting.
I'm one of the first ones on council to say, we're gonna do what the public wants. This council, I feel, has been very good at doing what the public wants. But what does this public wanna do today? And then over here, this public wants to do tomorrow. How long do we carry this on?
Right.
I'm not saying don't listen to the public. They're our bosses, absolutely. They're our bosses, but I struggle with how many times we're gonna keep doing this. And it's terrible on staff.
Yes, it is. Some of the things that came up here were, talking about infrastructure is where we're weak. The roads won't handle the traffic and all this stuff won't take care of the problems that we have, and the police, we don't have enough police. When we made our contract with the sheriff's department many years ago, we had 2,000 people here. Now we have 16,000. And so, as part of the contract, which is well done and saved our taxpayers here a lot of money over the years, and they've done an excellent job. As part of that, we need to keep up to speed with how we fund it, and so they have manpower to handle the things that they need and all that kind of stuff. A couple of years ago, we agreed that we needed to do more than what we were doing, and we agreed, we met in different places and talked about it, and we came up with a figure of about $400,000 that we would need to buy a car or two and more manpower and stuff like that. And we put it out to a vote, and the voters turned it down. It's for their own benefit, it's not for ours. We don't get anything out of that, but they turned us down. Our levy rate is one of the lowest in the state and lower, and I think it is the lowest for a city this size. And it's been very difficult to keep it that way for the last many years, because we didn't know when we did that we were going to have 16,000 people today compared to 2,000 when we did it. But we have no ability to change it. We have gone to the state a few times, and the state does have the ability to do that. The legislators could give us a window of opportunity. They've done it before years ago, and say, you guys have a couple of months, give us the figures that you need to make your levy rate fair. Not too much, just fair, because it's only about $1 now, isn't it?
Right, less than.
Right there, and you take Post Falls or even Rafton, which is half our size, and theirs is 3 times what ours is, I mean, so it's pathetic. And because of that, we're behind on our roads. And every year, when we do our budgets, we look at our road maintenance and we're falling further behind, and we have no way to catch up. We work with old equipment you know, we're not crazy about this stuff. We have equipment that does the job, but we're very frugal about the money we spend. The state here a while back, a number of years ago, we're looking at ways, can we keep the levy rate low for the people that live here? Because that's what we really wanted to do, keep the cost down. So we decided, okay, how about a, what do we call that, a tax, that we talked about? A local option tax. Just looking at ways that we can do that and keep the cost down and provide the services that we need to do for you, for crying out loud. So we started talking about that. No, they won't let us do that either. So what, we got our hands tied behind our back, and we're out here fighting a battle, and we're retreating and apologizing every day for busting our tails, trying to do the right thing with no money. So when people say that you need to have more infrastructure and you need to do a better job, we agree with you 100%. How do we pay for that? They won't give us the ability or the means to do it. And the voters, if we wanted to raise our levy rate, the state tells us in their infinite wisdom, put it out to a vote of the people. Now you tell me, the way people feel today, if you put that out there, how much support you're gonna get for a tax increase. Yeah, about as much as, you know. So we're stuck. It's not that we're stupid or that we haven't tried to do the right thing and wanted to do the right thing. We recognize the problems, we always have. We've done everything in our means to do it and still be responsible to the people that we represent. And we get no support, not only from the public, but we don't get it from the state either. So you tell me what we should do.
Well, we can have good,
Huh?
well, I want,